Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
There we go. Finally coming through loud and clear.
How's everyone doing?
Very well, thank you. The rest of you?
Good, thank you.
Great to hear. If we just get settled and wait for a bit more of the Zilliqa community / cavalry to arrive, and then we'll kick off in a minute.
Yeah, that sounds good. Good to see loads of familiar faces here so quickly. Hope you're doing well.
I'm not sure what the usual turnout of things like these are, but
hopefully they're all playing the game at the moment and buying some skins.
Which one are you getting, Matt?
I've got the bazooka.
The Serpent of Protection.
The Serpent of Protection, that's the one. The big bad boy rocket launcher.
Yes, man. I like your style, bro.
Go big or go home, isn't it?
You know it. Is that
For anyone that has no idea what Matt's talking about, Web3 War, the game that's powered by Zilliqa, has just started a recent collaboration with Dr. Death and the Order of the Redeemed. And they have launched several skins within the game, including the Serpent of Protection, which Matt is referring to. Done a great job with those, Kane and Jessica.
Thank you much. Thank you. We've been trying to record and score the longest RPG kill. So far we got 66 bonus X points. That's the high score so far.
Rookie numbers. Okay, so thanks for joining, everyone. Here today with Matt Dyer, Zilliqa CEO, local celeb, Valentin Cabellia, who is the founder and CTO of Rolling Thunders, gaming studio that's recently spun out from Zilliqa. And we're also joined by Kane and Jessica, otherwise known as Dr. Death. So thanks for coming here today, guys. Appreciate your time. And
thanks for having us, Isaac.
All good. Do you want to kick things off, Valentin, and just let everyone know who you are if they're not familiar with what you're doing?
Shall I do the intro first and then hand over to Valentin, the guys, because these are the chaps and chapesses have got everything to say.
Age before beauty, as usual.
Exactly. Getting old, that's for sure. So, yeah, hi everyone, and thanks for giving up your time today, whether that's the morning, the evening, wherever you are. As Isaac said, I'm the CEO at Zilliqa. For me, it's exciting to be on this AMA. Zilliqa has very much been following the career and the paths of both Dr. Death, who's been a kind of a stalwart in the Zilliqa community for a long time. Obviously, Rolling Thunders has been a venture that spun out of Zilliqa, and we kind of watched that grow from an SDK all the way to where we are today. So it's really exciting to see that from a creator economy perspective, and it's an ethos that Zilliqa has had for a long, long time. It's something that is coming into fruition with the collaboration that we see with Dr. Death and Rolling Thunder. So I think the fact we're starting to see opportunities from a value transfer perspective being realized where everyone can win, whether that's artists, whether that's the gaming studio, whether that's the players themselves kind of further down the line, for me, is really exciting times ahead. So to hand over to Valentin, Kane and Jess, I just want to say really looking forward to the session today and hear exactly kind of what sparked this off and kind of where it's going to lead. So thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Dr. Death. Thank you both for the wonderful things you have done. I'm Valentin Cabellia. I'm the co-founder with Matt and CTO for Rolling Thunders, the gaming and entertainment. I think it would be a better wording. The entertainment studio company in charge with doing very wonderful thing. We started more than a year ago with a nice SDK, as Matt says, and we ended up doing a gaming platform, our Fusion Gaming Hub. One game, many other tools, many collaborations, but for the beginning, we start now with Dr. Death. I'm gonna chat more on this later on. Thank you once again.
Thanks, Valentin. Should we get an intro from you guys, Kane and Jessica?
Hi everyone. So I'm Jessica.
I'm Kane.
And we're the summoners of Dr. Death. So Dr. Death is a 32,000-year-old shaman who broke free from samsara, the cycle of life and death, and he now exists as a digital spirit.
Yeah, so Dr. Death has gazed upon humanity and divinely intervened with cultures from all over the world over the last 32,000 years, cultivating wisdom from everywhere he travelled. And Dr. Death is our head shaman of the Order of the Redeemed. And we are a 10K NFT cult, cross-chain with Zilliqa and Polygon. And we've created this on our vision and mission to promote spiritual psychology and ancient philosophy through art.
The Order's divine mission is to elevate humanity to the first worldwide golden age by uncovering the lost mysteries of man.
It's time for truth.
Oh, that was
the same
cheese.
time. That was
cheese.
It's time for truth.
What an intro! Sounds like you're doing more for the world than I am at the moment. Grand ambitions. So to kick things off, just want to talk about artists and gaming and why you guys think it's such a natural link.
So yeah, like what we think, like, I mean, Jessica and I absolutely love gaming. We've always loved gaming, and like our favorite video games really, like, they take you on a visual journey. Like one of my favorite video games was Elder Scrolls, and that was made by like two artists, kind of like, I think it was Oblivion did like the map design, the skins, the weapons, everything. And that the artist's vision in a video game takes it to life. And there are so many different ways that this comes in. Like, I mean, like Mario Kart as well. It isn't just an incredible game. It's visually got a huge standpoint, and it's kind of notable for its visual stance, as well with like Call of Duty or Counter-Strike. Like how they come across visually really takes you there, just in the same way a film does. So for like, from an artist's point of view, that visual aspect is like crucial to like bringing you into that video game setting.
Absolutely. I think there's so many games that I think of like growing up, and they all have like their own iconic style, at least the ones that you remember. So fully agree with you there. What about you, Valentin? What is some of your favorite art styles growing up?
Oh, mine goes somewhere around in early 90s, around games like the original Wolfenstein. They call it Wolfenstein 3D. It wasn't that much 3D back then. The Dune 2 and the way they did the graphics side with the music. And I always say that the audio part is also very important alongside the graphics, to create that immersive effect and to have a really entertaining and fun gameplay is all that I'm looking when I'm creating all these games. And I always thought that it's better to work with the right kind of artist rather than just use an engineer to do that, because, well, the engineer is going to know how to do proper volume and reflex on the audio and so on, but the real creation and the real creative input comes, of course, from an artist like Dr. Death here, right? So I would say early 90s would be my main influence in respect to all the things I've been doing. I know, a bit old for some.
It's funny you mentioned like the importance of music as well. I think my favorite game ever like has to be Ocarina of Time, Zelda. And I think my first musical memories are probably the songs that you play on the ocarina. So fully in agreement with you there. What would you say the opportunity for artists in Web3 are that didn't exist in the old gaming models that we're used to? Valentin.
Well, that's quite easy. I mean, let's take a look at any major title. Tell me a title and we can work with that. Let's call it Warfare. Let's not name a game directly. Let's call it just a game, Warfare. It's my to go now example, right? In any AA, AAA games, none of the artists get the cash back. They do get the credit screen where they are being mentioned. They do get maybe another gig where they are able to do something great, something artistic that they are extremely great at. But that's it. But again, they don't get everything from that. Maybe you make the best music for that game because Mr. Corporate from that Warfare game that I'm saying, we're gonna get everything. So what Web3 as a space is offering to any kind of artist creators is that at the end of the day, based on the deal, of course, you have with the guys that are injecting your art, your content, your product, and so in their platform, in their games, and or whatever they are doing, you get that directly to you. It's just a matter of, I don't know, accounting at the end of the day to get the cash and the things that you deserve based on your output there. Plus, you get your name on the product directly that you have made. So I think directly is from the consumer all the way to the artist as a part of the big product that maybe a corporation or the Warfare, in my example, should have been done. In our case, it's quite easy. We said, look, we need to do skins. We can make many of them. We can replicate whatever Counter-Strike is doing, or Call of Duty, or Battlefield, and so on. But we need to have what people in our community are doing. So we started to look in the community to see who is there. And of course, first one to find was Dr. Death. And we had a chat and said, this would be the thing. Are you okay to be doing something for the weapons? So, and that's the main discussion I'm currently having with everybody, because this first game Web3 is all about weapons and violence in that way. But again, it's just a game, nothing to be taken out from the virtual world to the real world. And we said this could be something that as a proof of concept, as a program pilot, that we can see how it performs, where the consumer, the player, the crypto enthusiast, the degenerate, if you want to call it like that, will be able to acquire an NFT, see its utility of that NFT in the game as a skin for the weapon, for the character, or whatever we're going to make soon in the near future. And then the artist, in this case Dr. Death, we're going to get directly the payment, the recognition, the applause from the consumer for the good work, hopefully not the bad work, only the good work, always from Dr. Death, for those things that she has done. So I think this is huge in respect to, hey, I'm good at making this kind of stuff. Can I have them in your game? Of course. We need to curate the content, of course, because we cannot have everything from everybody. We have a theme with the game. We cannot have Looney Tunes in a shooter game, would be quite off, but still we are quite open to have discussions with other artists. But for the moment, discussion was very simple and straightforward, and I'll let Dr. Dre to tell you the story how our first discussion went.
Just to add to that, I think it's important for people to understand. Obviously, I've had a little bit of flack, I guess, at Rolling Thunders at Zilliqa about the gaming, I guess, business or what we're trying to build out, in that it was quite closed in terms of the way we're operating. But clearly we had to build a game and get it to a place that we could bring it to market. And obviously Valentine and the team have done an exceptional job getting us to that position. I think now what we're going to start to see moving forward is more opportunities like this, where we're going to get creators from our community, and creators from other communities, potentially now Polygon or followers of you guys might bring some of those people across. But if we can start to get more creators into our ecosystem, adding value into, I guess, our gaming platform in terms of what we're building, we should start to see more and more people getting awareness around what Rolling Thunders Gaming is doing, or games on Zilliqa, which I think is going to massively help everyone moving forward. So our kind of ambition was really to get a product to market, which we've done, and great job there. Now, how do we start to kind of work with other communities, other areas, to try and attract more people into our economy and make it get upside for everyone? So yeah, I think it's an exciting time, and yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing more about the kind of the methodology and approach that Dr. Death have adopted in terms of creating their first skin.
Absolutely, and obviously that's the perspective from the developer and the distribution essentially. But Kane and Jess, how do you feel about the situation? What I guess what draws you guys to collaborating with like the gaming space in Web3?
Yeah, I think you all touched on really important points. It's like what we have in Web3 is there's such a focus on collaboration with different skills with people. So like, I mean, we started our art career in Web2, and it's a totally different landscape there, where you do for like, I guess the best term for like a centralized company where they have in-house artists or in-house people that create it, and everything's done like to that set brief. And then when you kind of have Web3, we're kind of moving into this idea of like open metaverse and open gaming, where, as you said, like multiple communities coming together to create different things. And that's one thing. Like as soon as we saw that the Web3 war was happening, Rolling Thunders, we were like, oh my gosh, that has such a good potential to be utilizing this sort of collaborative idea. And you're starting to see it everywhere as well. Like even games like Fortnite have now like Balenciaga skins in them and stuff. So games are really starting to grow outwards to this like cross community idea. And I think that's something that works, especially with NFTs, so well, because you have that customize and changeability within the game. So from an artist perspective, it's excellent to be able to like work on projects without making it a video game ourselves, which just isn't in our like skill set.
For sure. And one question I got for you guys is, why do you think that so few artists have made that jump so far, like you have?
What do you mean, like to collaborate on like a game, for example?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously we're seeing more and more artists sort of like move into Web3 and experiment with NFTs. But why do you think there's so few artists who have made this jump so far? Do you think it's just the limited amount of Web3 games out there, or just that people aren't really aware that there's the possibility?
Well, I think it depends what chain you're on. Because on other chains there are quite a lot of games in Web3. So that like we have been collaborating with other games. But I think there are more and more people are getting involved. Artists are getting involved with gaming and other industries.
Yeah, I think a huge thing from like the artist point of view. I mean, like from like when we were at university, for example, like we were into crypto and blockchain, and generally speaking, like there isn't a huge crossover between artists and people that are into like tech and finance. So initially, that's like quite a niche crossover point. So, but because of like the rise of NFTs and like the gaming and Web3, and there's so much happening there, more and more artists from the traditional, and especially the digital landscape, are starting to look over and be like, well, actually, there's a huge potential for me to be able to exist there. Like, especially when so many like social media platforms, which even traditional artists are using to promote their own work generally, even if it's physical, like that's now where the NFT and Web3 totally exists. So more and more artists are starting to look over and be like, well, actually, like it makes so much sense for me to move over there and start experimenting with people.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously we're in a bit of a quiet period in the crypto world, but I imagine that once we see the next explosion, the headlines will draw many more to it. Just talking about your skin drop in Web3 War. Firstly, did you ever think that you'd be creating a skin for a game? Obviously, you said you've worked with other games as well, but at what point did the possibility of that become apparent to you in your journey in Web3?
So I mean, like we've always wanted to do work with video games. So like if there's that ever opportunity, we're like so excited to just jump on it. And I remember when Web3 War and that started happening, we were messaging in and being like, so how are we doing? Like, oh, like really skins and like guns and like game maps. And we were just initially like spitballing with different ideas for like map potentials and stuff, just to really just to instantly put it out there and be like, we love what you've made so far. We've played it. We think it's freaking awesome. And we'd love to like somehow see how we can collaborate and like kind of come together on this. So we're like seriously pumped when Valentin was just like, this would be so cool for us to do. We're like, oh my God, yes, like let's do this thing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I would really love like medieval armor and arms. I'm like absolutely obsessed with that. So being able to design guns, especially like with like embossing and stuff on them, was exactly like right up my street. So.
Yeah, 100%. Like looking at the different, like, I mean, so like on the game where you go in it, like you got a different section for like the stock, the magazine, the main body of it. And like it's really similar to fashion with that, where it's like you got to think of the ergonomics of the gun and like how different parts react with each other. So it's also like really fun to kind of work in that 3D aspect where a lot of our work is 2D. So just there's so many reasons why we're like this is just gonna be such a good collaboration.
It's funny you mentioned like being interested in medieval warfare, Jess, because will there ever be a time when we get a Dr. Death axe in Web3 war? We've got plenty of melee weapons.
Well, I don't see a reason not to. But the good thing is that we're going to cover a lot of game genres, and one of them, and this is a spoiler alert now, is called castles. And we're going to be launched somewhere in the future. I'm not going to give you a timeline for that, and it will be with swords and knights and wizards and shamans and whatever, but not now, gentlemen and ladies, not now. Far in the future, because we want to cover a lot in Rolling Thunders and to cover a lot of the gaming genres, not to compete with them, but to give the opportunity for a real utility implementation. In addition to your previous question, NFTs, we've seen them all over the place, in games, in all kind of other entertainment area or whatever. But I think the best way to look for as an artist is always its utility of that NFT that you can do for that specific product. And in our case, it was simple and easy. You don't have just an image for the skin. It's the skin of the weapon. It's actually the weapon, the way it looks and feels. You don't get any additional bonuses for having that skin. You don't get, I don't know, more damage from your weapon, or you're running faster or whatever. It's only, let's say, a graphical customization that you really own. It's in your wallet. So yeah, why not make an axe? That will be easy.
I'm totally convinced when I have the skin on that we're better at playing. It feels like it. When I got that shotgun, we're running around, we're like, oh my God.
Pay to win. So with you mentioned the shotgun, what out of the three specific skins, like what inspired them for you? What led you to make them as they were?
So each three of the skins are all inspired by traits from the 10K collection.
Yeah, I think it was Sushi that pointed out on one of the comments, like the interest of the titles and what the titles were in reference to.
Yeah, so each of our 10K traits, they're all items that are from cultures from all over the world, from throughout history.
Yeah, so example, like we have in the game, the RPG is the Serpent of Protection. And the Serpent of Protection is also one of the body traits. So if you can see Dr. Def's profile picture right now, he has the Serpent of Protection. And the Serpent of Protection was influenced by the two-headed snake of good and evil, which is actually from Aztec mythology. And like this two-headed serpent played a significant role in Aztec cosmology, and it like symbolized to them the duality of transformational aspects of life and nature. And as a symbol of duality, the serpent to them represented life, death, creation, destruction, and like opposing forces of nature and the cosmos. They're really interested in this like the philosophical idea of like rebirth. So I feel like a lot of our traits really are this like world culture thing. So we wanted to utilize this skin collaboration as a way of extending our current traits already. So for example, like the second one, which is on the M4A1 machine gun, and that's called the Threefold Kingdom. And that's also one of the body traits from the 10K collection. So that the Three Kingdoms is kind of representing of our second name, which is Jessica is Thai and Umma Smith. So we're English, Irish, and Scottish blood. That's like our mixture of heritage. And any like adepts in like the biblical narrative will understand that the threefold kingdom was actually known as God's threefold kingdom. So the first kingdom was known as the soul of the true believers. It was the God's kingdom, which we called the spiritual kingdom. The second kingdom was upon the earth, and that was where the church was, the visible kingdom. And then you have the third one, which is the heavenly kingdom, which comes to us after resurrection. And like you see this trinity represented in a vast array of cultures. It was one of the things we explore a lot in our Order of Redeemed is archetypal patterns between ancient cultures. So like in the Celtic mythology, they also had this like similar triad. The Gauls, for example, they divided the universe into three parts: the Albois, the heavens; the Bitu, which was the world of the living beings; and the Dubnos, which is the hell or the lower world.
Yeah, and also the Great White Thunderstorm, which is the shotgun, not only is a trait in the 10K collection, but is also referenced in Dr. Death's Redemption comic book. And we've just about got to the Thunderstorm now, and the big blood sacrifice is about to happen.
Yeah, we knew we had to include that one. The shotgun seemed like the perfect place to have the Great White Thunderstorm skin in it.
Totally, it's like a massive key moment in Dr. Death's life.
Yeah.
Love that. You know, I didn't know how much thought went into these, you know, like the names, the themes. And thank you for the history lesson as well. Always good. So as far as the skins that we've got, if I was a Web3 war player, Valentin, how would I go and get one?
Well, simply, you just install the gaming hub if you don't have an account. Well, if you don't have it installed by any means, if you are in this Twitter space and you don't have it, I'm going to be very upset. You need to go on the web page of Rolling Thunders or Web3 World.game. You get it from there, you download it, you install it, make an account. If you don't have one, log in. And in the marketplace, which we call it the market, you're going to find that the wonderful skins from Dr. Death. Now, talking about this gaming hub, that's our platform, which today, by the way, as a great additional thing to this wonderful event, it just got updated to version 2.0 after 3 months of overwhelming work in changing the UI and adding a lot of new features. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Hub 2.0 released. Enjoy it, download it. It's more than a modern user experience that we want to offer in order for people to be able to fastly and easily buy new NFTs like from Dr. Death.
It is indeed, as Valentin said, the new version of the Fusion Gaming Hub came out today. And I think even some of the people in this spaces were the developers that worked in it. So thanks for all your work, guys.
Yeah, I was just going to quickly say as well, just for anyone, because we had a couple of questions about like accessing and getting Zil and stuff into the gaming hub. We made a tutorial video and we chucked it up on YouTube, and that takes you from like downloading the game all the way through to putting the skins on the guns, covers like getting the wallet, which is actually such a good setup. Like they just give you create a wallet inside the gaming app. It's such a good setup. So like, yeah, if you need help, just have a look at that video.
Thank you for that, Dr. Death. And one of the things we went from day one with this gaming hub that we've built with our platform is to have a very smooth perspective. Like I said, you install, you download, you install, you make an account, you play, or you buy, or whatever you want to do there. Because you do not need to take care about the wallet. That's being generated for you if it's a new account. So you instantly get your Zilliqa blockchain-based account, wallet, at the moment you are creating your account. And to ease that, it is another spoiler. Soon, in 2 to 3 months, is what I got from my tech guys. Here it comes, guys. We're going to have a nice website where we can go there with the same accounts that we have from the hub, or again, we can create a new one there where you get the wallet. So you go on the website and you can log in and have access to your inventory and to the marketplace. So you'll be able, no matter what device you have, to buy directly the NFTs, to buy, to sell them, to claim them, to mint them, to do whatever you want with all the NFTs in the marketplace that we're going to have, or you're going to have there, like those from Dr. Death. Why is that? Because we want to expand beyond an application that is strictly on Windows for the moment, because games are on Windows, so we need to stick around with that side of the story. But I want the guys on the Mac. I want people with tablets, with phones, with Xbox, with PlayStation, with your TV set. If it has a browser, I want you to be able to go there with your account or to create an account and have access to the marketplace to get the stuff. Why? Because artists like Dr. Death and the more others that are going to come, I want them to be easily accessible to the market, to the customers, to the crypto guys, to the gamers, and so on. So I want to hear that. So now you can troll me about this new spoiler. My Twitter and my LinkedIn and the Discord are all up and running. Start trolling me on that with questions. I can also do some details, but you know that I like to talk about the things when they're like in a beta version. This is quite close to a late alpha, soon to go in beta, but no spoilers, no early access there, because we need to ensure that it's highly secured, highly easy to use, the same way you got used to work with our products so far. So there it is.
There you go, guys. It's a spoiler that Rolling Thunder's very own version of OpenSea is going to be coming to you very soon. So, as far as artists coming into the marketplace and listing their own skins, what are the incentives for them to do so, Valentin?
Well, first of all, we have a very big community in respect to the user accounts already available in our gaming hub, in our platform, in our ecosystem. We have more than 11,000 registered accounts, out of which around 6,000 to 7,000 are on a monthly level basis active. They either go in the hub or either they start to run the game and play a match. We are now pumping that because we need more accounts, we need more people. So we're running a lot of advertisement to increase the number and have real accounts, not funny stories where we're fake ones, just real people around the accounting system, that so they can play and consume the content we are providing there. In respect of what the artists can get is, besides our knowledge and all these proof of concepts and benchmarks, because as you have seen, we had our founder edition skins, we had a lot of giveaways, we had basically what we like to call benchmarking events around the NFTs and how they should be put on the market and how the customer should be addressed during our marketing campaigns, during our promotions, and so on. So I think we have a decent understanding on how we can sell an NFT, no matter if it's homemade or made by somebody external, like Dr. Death here. And we can offer that. Then we can discuss any kind of plans, like, hey, we need to talk commercials, like we are a business, you are a business as an artist, you of course want to make money. That's easy for us to show you how much the taxes are, how much the blockchain is taking as fees, and we can work with that and present you, because we have all the data already from all these benchmarks that we did before we even had the first pixel drone with Dr. Death. So we had that knowledge. Plus, don't forget, we have the Zilliqa community with us in order to support this craziness. Now let the wonderful CEO of Zilliqa, Matt, to tell you more on this side.
The bit I like as well that maybe we haven't touched on, Valentin, is around these skins. Does everyone, I think, just in terms of what your ambition is for these skins to go cross game, because I know Illuvium gets a lot of traction in the press around being able to take skin from one game to another game to another game. I think just from your perspective, it may be worth talking to what you're kind of doing there to support
Of course.
this role.
Of course. So any skin, any NFT that we're gonna land in our marketplace will be based, because of all the technology behind that, will be available for any games that we or external studios, because soon enough we're gonna open for external studios in their games to be able to integrate them. So give you an example. Let's take the shotgun from Dr. Death, right? You go in Web3 where you have that, you bought it, you have it in your wallet. You go in Web3 where you play matches, you see your skin there on the weapon and so on, you have fun with that. We have the second game coming up very soon, later this year, early next year, depending on how the market shifts. You'll be able to use the same skin on the same shotgun in that game, because we take care that the content, the utility of the skins of all these NFTs that anybody can build with us in these parameters, of course, will be able to use in multi-game. So at least 2 games will be able to showcase your NFT. So basically multiple usage of multiple presentations as utility for your NFT. And the same will happen with the launcher, the same will happen with your axe that you were just saying recently. But we're not going to stop only at skins for the weapons or skins for the characters. We're going to have badges, we're going to have avatar icons, we're going to have many other things, because we want to have a plethora of skins as NFTs available in all the games that we are building or that we build with external studios. This was a day one strategy. This is why we are doing the games on the blockchain. So we offer this ability for your skins that you buy it once as an NFT and you can use it in multiple games. And I'm challenging if anybody in the Twitter space here, well, they're gonna troll me later on. Anybody from Counter-Strike can do that, or Call of Duty, or Battlefield. At this moment, can they show me this? No, and you are paying a ton of money on the skins on the game because they're not free to play, by the way, which our games are always free to play. I want to challenge them. Hey, can you guys do that in your Web2 old dinosaur environment of making games? Answer is no. So I think this is huge. And the whole architecture for all the projects is like that. Free games, free to play games with multiplayer and with cross game content. And of course with seasonal content that we're going to go live very soon.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, there's a number of games that offer skins at the moment, and some of them, like Counter-Strike, you've got the knives there's a knife worth over $2 million, right? But you don't have true ownership over that. It's even in Valve's like terms of use that you don't own the skin, you have like a license to use the skin. So like you say, what Rolling Thunders are doing with NFTs in gaming, like, really is leading the way there. Just to make a little mention to everyone, if you'd like to ask any questions to Matt, Valentin, Jess, or Kane, then feel free to leave a question or a comment, and then we'll try to answer that at the end. So moving on, Valentin. Firstly, congratulations on the launch of Fusion Gaming Hub version 2 today. Big upgrade.
Thank you.
Great. Aside from the marketplace that you're talking about opening on across platforms, what other changes are coming to the Fusion Hub down the line, and also to Web3 War?
Right, I'll start with the hub. We're gonna add few more features at the level of filtering and having more an easier way to access the NFTs. This is because we already have what we call collections, and if you open the new hub, you're gonna see about 37 collections, which is a lot. We need to scroll a lot, so we're gonna have a bit more filters in the upcoming version 2.1. And also in version 2.1, we are starting to work with external service providers. I slipped a word at the beginning of presentation saying an entertainment company. So as an entertainment company, we need to offer everything around what entertaining is, right? So the first service that we're going to come around will be something with music. I'm not going to say too much now because, as I said, I want to showcase and talk about things once they are integrated. But I can tell you that at least for streamers, that will going to be huge in respect to the way you are accessing things directly from your wallet. Things are going to be paid as a subscription. You're going to have access to something cool in respect to music. And that will be only the first. The idea is to basically to extend and expand what we have at the hub level in order for you as a user, as a consumer, to enjoy. Maybe you don't play the game. Maybe you just sit there and you just buy NFTs and sell them at a higher price, or whatever you want to do, and you want to have the hub open. Maybe an NFT is going to be on sale. We're going to offer things and services basically with those things that I'm mentioning in order for you to be entertained while waiting for that NFT to drop a bit on the price, or while you are in a match with your friends and playing Web3 War or the next game called Hellzone. We give you more opportunities to enjoy the experience that the hub is offering. Other than that, think about Steam or Battle.net. What do? You install games, you play the games, you see some sales option. Oh, so boring. So we went at that level, a bit different. We went few levels up actually and adding new things. And in version 2.1 and 2.2, a lot of stuff are going to be added in respect to what the hub will going to offer. We said that in the beginning, somewhere in February this year, things got real. And as you gentlemen and ladies know, I never talk about things that are not real. That are going to go live in the next upcoming months with version 2.1 and 2.2 in the Fusion Hub. Do drop questions if you have about that. I'm happily going to answer. Ping me on any kind of platforms and I'm going to give you more details there. Should I switch on Web3 War and what we are building there? For Matt,
Sure.
would you like to add anything to the hub side?
No,
I mean,
I'm just
it sounds like... Go on, Matt.
No, I was just conscious. I'm not sure if you're going to ask another question. Obviously, there's different versions, different releases, and the update today looks magnificent. So good job there. I guess a lot of the community are asking version 3, what does that bring to them? I don't know if it's maybe worth talking to that a little bit.
Well, it's easy. I like numbers. Like Dr. Death likes to link with some mythology, some past events, historical events, and then numbers again. We are Web3 world, right? Web3. We are in the Web3 space. So version 3 for the hub and version 3 for the game, we're gonna bring the full integration of skill to earn. Maybe we should call it skill 3 earn. I don't know why. That's because we are working now for many months undercover because we want to deliver high quality, trustful quality of our deals in respect to the mighty FPS token that everybody heard. That's soon to happen, and I'll pass it to you, Matt, to give you more details. And once we have that happening, season 1 for Web3 where we're gonna start, and that will be fully integrated with all the cool features for the season 1 and season 1 pass in the hub. Matt, you have the microphone, sir.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's much more to add to that. I think just from people's mindset and thinking about, right, maybe I've been spending much time grinding in the game, I've not been playing the game. I think this is probably quite a good time to get some alpha, get your site sorted out so that when skill to earn does come, you've got that advantage to maybe reap more from the get-go. So yeah, I'm really excited to see the FPS token enabled. Timings on that is a key priority for us. I would say we're looking probably in the next 3 months or so to have that available. I think we all know the state of the market at the moment, so it's kind of really around timing on that. We could go now, to be honest, but it's probably going to be about 3 months before we enable that. So at that point, once you start to got the ability to skill to earn, you can start to use those points so that you've earned to then, I guess, maybe buy some more skins. And another feature that I would love to see personally is if we can maybe look at, I don't know, STZill is a great example when we think about the community and building out what we're doing in DeFi. Is there's the opportunity, maybe if you're using STZill to buy skins, to maybe offer kind of discount in terms of the price of those digital assets. So as we think about the circular economy and trying to drive the ecosystem, while gaming's at the core of it and getting the creators involved, how can we start to think about bringing in the DeFi aspects of what we're building on Zilliqa into this ecosystem as well to help everyone? So I think there's loads of opportunities. There's a lot coming, particularly around the game. And yeah, once the version 3 aspects enabled, I think it's game on, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. And the good thing is that we are ready to integrate more tokens than only the ZIL. So at this moment, you see in the hub only the ZIL token. Gentlemen, the hub is ready for the FPS token, is ready for Valentin's token, for Matt's token, for whatever token we see that it has a reason to be there and it's validated by us, like STZill. It's so easy for us to integrate it because there are a lot of software components, highly secured and well developed in all this time to properly accommodate the expansion and the flexibility to adapt to any needs that we are like, hey, we want that to be integrated now. Yeah, give me a day or two and we have it done. That easy. You guys can say, oh, you guys should keep updating the hub and the game, but you don't see the real stuff. Where is skill to earn? Trust us that under the hood, it's a lot of stuff happening in the software that has been delivered just to prepare in a proper way and change a bit the narrative and the reputation that the Web3 space has. I am tired, and I'm coming from the Web2 part. And I'm tired how things and everybody there says, oh, crypto, oh, NFT. No. We are doing it the right way because somebody has to do it. And I said, why not us? Let's be bold, let's be cocky and say, let it be us. The ones that are going to do it the proper way. And the first one to hear me with this strategy was Matt, of course. And Zilliqa saying, yes, let's do it the proper way. That's why we started with the tools. That's why we started with the hub and then the games. We even have an anti-cheat. Did you guys observe that anti-cheat? No, because all the hackers and cheaters didn't even get the chance to touch it with any stupid cheats that they might have done because they got banned instantly. That's why, because we build the stuff to be ready day one, skill to earn is plugged in. Because I want the real hard worker guy that we're going to punch in $10, $20, $1,000 on that NFT to really have a great experience while enjoying his NFT in all these multiple games. Imagine the following scenario. One guy gets the NFT, the shotgun NFT from Dr. Death, goes in a match and 10,000 and five of his enemies are using cheats. Would you be happy? Do you think that guy would be happy? No. So we had to secure all the stuff and come on the market properly with the right sequence, like any other games is doing in the web space, in the Web2 space. But I challenge any hacker and any cheater. Hopefully, somebody hears me to punch in some cheats. We are ready for that. Hackers, the same. Come on, bring it. And I'll give you a lot of cash if you do that. I want to see it. Because I want to offer you the real guys, the real experience.
Well, the challenge has been made.
Let's hackers keep away, please.
On the games, dear hackers, on the gaming side. Gaming.
Yeah, Valentin's beating his chest, but Matt is quivering in his boots.
No, not at all. No, I think that's the other thing as well. I think we've done a few things that maybe frustrate some people in, I guess, the classic Web3 space, where we might have done some copyright stuff just to protect certain aspects of what we're doing. But as we know with legislation, the way things are going, we kind of just need to make sure that everything is covered, so that ourselves, our people involved from a Zilliqa standpoint, from Rolling Thunders, from Dr. Death, everyone's covered in terms of what we're doing. So it's not easy. People talk about resiliency in blockchain. I think we're all going through that with this bear market that we've kind of all been through, but I think we're starting to come out of it, and I think a lot of the hard work and effort and the mundane stuff that we're putting in place is definitely going to serve us well longer term.
Absolutely. We love a bit of optimism. So to sum all that up, the Fusion Gaming Hub will become an entertainment platform in and of itself. Season 1 for Web3 War, Skill to Earn, and the FPS token will be coming very, very soon. And we'll also look at engaging other parts of the Zilliqa ecosystem into everything that Rolling Thunders is doing. So, moving on now. As we know, Dr. Death have joined the order, have created some great new skins for Web3 War. However, there is more than just Web3 War on the horizon. So, Valentin, will these skins that have launched just this week, or last week, sorry, will they be available in the upcoming game as well?
Of course, day one. And I'm gonna showcase it. Again, another spoiler. Around the Christmas, if everybody behaves, Santa Claus, I'll be the Santa Claus this year. We're gonna bring at least a sandbox open game for the second. The second game as an open box, so everybody can enjoy and see the skins, see the environment. At least that. It's only a matter how we sequence the season 1 for Web3 War and how some technological parts are being done before the second game is ready to go. So we're not rushing in with the second game, but yes, day 1, second game will be ready for any skins available. NFTs available in the marketplace.
There you have it, folks. Confirmed from the man himself. So, remember to get your questions in for Matt, Valentin, Jess, and Kane, guys. If you have any, just pop a comment below and we'll get back to it at the end. Jess, Kane, Dr. Death, roadmap, future plans. What is on the horizon for you guys?
So in the very near future, this weekend, we're holding a tournament in Web3 War for the opportunity to win one of the shotgun skins, along with a 10k NFT and $100 worth of ZIL donated by Zilliqa.
Yeah, really excited for that. Thank you. Yeah, just pinned the post up now. So this weekend, it is tournament time. At the bottom of that poster, you can see we're going to have 3 different gaming sessions. We've tried to split them across different time zones. But if anyone wants to get involved and you can't make any of those times, feel free to DM us or drop us a message on Discord, and we'll make sure we can allocate you a game over the weekend. So what we're going to be doing is, who can get the most kills in a free-for-all deathmatch game? And what we're going to do is either Jessica or myself will be hosting a game, and we'll release the match name, but it will most likely be called Death Squad, because that's what we've been using so far. And everyone can play, and in those times we'll be the judges, although we won't count our scores because we might win.
That would be awkward.
Yeah. And then at the end of that, we're going to be giving away prizes to whoever got the most kills in a single game. So it won't add up over time. It will just be single games. And yeah, anyone jump in, have some games, and really it'll just be really good to all play together. We had a gaming session the other day. It was really good. Fabulous came in, Tyrell came in. It's so good to be playing games with the community members. So we thought we'd spice it up a little bit and give away some prizes for that.
Very exciting stuff. Just to let you know, Valentin, you are not allowed to take part because the competition would, well, he'd probably win first and second place somehow. So
Yep. Well, not fair. Not fair, but I like you. Okay. This time goes like that. Okay.
maybe they'll let you take part in the next one.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, if any of you want to get involved, we might be there as well. You might spot us. Whoever's running around on the Web3 War account. So other than that, any other plans coming from you guys?
Yeah, there's actually one little bit of alpha that we wanted to drop for community members. So a few people in our community, the closest, will know about this already. And we've been hinting at something we've called Phase 2 for a while, and that is something is ready to move into with the Order Redeemed. And just one thing we want to be talking about, we won't go into too much detail, but we're going to be unleashing a community prize fund. And essentially, there's going to be a load of different ways that we're going to integrate this into the community. But all you have to do is everyone that holds one of our 10K NFTs will have a chance to access part of our prize fund. And overall, with the collection, we're going to be allocating 2 million Zilliqa to this community prize fund. So like, if you followed us for some time, you know a huge part of what we do is to give back. We've donated money to domestic abuse charities, art therapy charities. We've planted trees. We work with our national forest. But one way we haven't done yet is directly give back to holders. We're looking for diamond hands. So this is one big fund that's going to be coming from us directly to the community. So, I mean, because we think as well, like there are some people in our community with like 50, 10K NFTs. So like that is 50 chances to win some of this prize. And it is quite a big prize. So we're going to be giving some big chunks to people.
Yeah, really excited to just give back to the community and to everyone that supported us.
Yeah, it's time to have some fun.
That's really amazing, guys.
Wow, just fallen off my seat. That's amazing. I better dig out that NFT. That's really
2
good.
million Zil. That is a lot of Zil. So definitely get involved, everyone. Also, wanted to mention that Dr. Death, Order of the Redeemed, one of the skins, the Threefold Kingdom skins, there is currently a giveaway taking place. If you go to the Web3 War Twitter page, you will see it. If you like the tweet, follow Web3 War and follow Join the Order, you'll be in with a chance to get your own Threefold Kingdom. And notice that Mox is in the call right now. Mox was the lucky winner of the last giveaway for one of the Serpent of Protection skins. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a second one. We'll see. Right. So I think thanks for letting us know what you two are planning on getting up to. A couple of quick questions before we move on to the Q&A. So, Kane, Jessica, I'm curious, what are your favorite artist projects in Web3 outside of your work on Dr. Death? Like, are there any projects that stand out to you artistically or that you think are especially innovative in the space?
Wow, that's a good question. You have put us on the spot with that. I love it. There's one of the things we do like about Web3 is there's a huge variety of creatives here. One of the people we think is absolutely going places is Catherine. I think her name is Catherine.
Yeah, I was just about to say Rodriguez.
Catherine Rodriguez. Yeah, her name on Twitter is Catherine the Worst. 100% find her. If you see the drop we did a while back when we did the Metaverse Fashion Week in Decentraland, we worked with Catherine the Worst and she did the 3D work for the hat design. She is an incredible Web3 artist. She does a lot of digital fashion work, 3D sculpture. she's currently working with Charlie Cohen, and they're doing the Restless project, and they've just announced they're collaborating with like Paris Hilton, which is absolutely just mind blowing. I think she's one of like the Catherine is just one of the artists that hugely sticks out to us.
Totally. Yeah. We love her style as well because she's really as well into like magic and alchemy too. So it's quite Dr. Death vibes, but as Kane said, like 3D, so different sort of style. Seriously
good work. And I personally absolutely love Darkler as well, who's in the Zilliqa ecosystem. I'm pretty sure they've just released the drop right now, so that's actually live. So just to quickly check that out. Darkler's been in the Zilliqa ecosystem for a long time, a seriously good community member, and the color palettes and the sort of symbolism they have in the work is, I freaking love it. So yeah, shout out to Darkler as well.
Absolutely, I think you guys are definitely biased on the Catherine the Worst front, because I see very many similarities to the work that you're doing as well. But it's very cool stuff. Have to make a shout out as well, of course, the Solar Citadel. See a few of those avatars being repped in the call. Good to have you guys here. Matt, what would you say are some of your favorite NFT projects that are going on right now, apart from the obvious Dr. Death?
You put me at the spot there, and probably not close enough to the market at the moment. I think from a Zilliqa standpoint, where we've been doing a lot of work is, I would suggest, in the loyalty space. We're obviously seeing a lot of work going on with the likes of Starbucks and, I don't know, Adidas, Nike, in terms of trying to drive digital, I guess, engagement with fans or customers via that way. I think from my perspective, there's been a lot of focus in and around how can we drive some of these loyalty programs into some partnerships. So I think just from a community perspective, watch this space. There's a few things coming down the pipe in that space. And I think just in terms of kind of what we're doing from an NFT marketplace ourselves, I think now that we're starting to ship a few products, we've obviously got, Liquid Staking went live a few months back. We've got a money market protocol that's getting very close to being available, which is exciting. Kind of talked about the loyalty vertical that we're driving and building a few partnerships. We've got an ESG thing that we've kind of been looking at and working on. So there's a whole host of things that are going on that we can start to amplify over the next few months. So all in all, across different verticals, across the horizontal, and even for lots of the project building on Zilliqa, I think it's a really exciting time. You've got Zeeves kind of launching a credit card, decentralized wallet type play to kind of challenge the neobank. Great ambition. These are the sorts of things that I think for me are amazing to see. So yeah, we've been a little bit quiet for a while, but I think now that we've started to kind of put the hard yards in, we've got a few products ready to go quite soon, we'll start talking a lot more.
Can confirm I've been privy to some of these, and there's some very exciting Web3 and NFT projects coming through. So the partnerships very soon. So beyond that, I'm curious to know from everyone, really. We'll start with you, Valentin, if that's all right, and then go to Dr. Death, go to Matt. When did you first discover that there was a world of Web3 beyond Bitcoin? So the existence of other chains and smart contracts.
Oh, tough one. Oh, a lot of years. I don't exactly remember when. I think it was just before Ethereum to launch. And a colleague of mine pinged me, hey, a new thing is going to launch. And I did them both. He bought a lot of Ethereum somewhere around that period of time. And I was still interested at that moment in the technology behind that, how things work. I really into this thing as a personal hobby and mindset and so on. And I started to dig in much more. But once again, I always saw the ability to do things in a proper way, in a secure way. And that's what approached me to the blockchain. And if you take a look, I'm not sure if it's on Wikipedia or well tracked on the internet on what the blockchain technology has at its core. I was doing software products and hardware products based with that technology that to some extent the blockchain is using, but in a very rudimentary way. So I could say, like, I don't know, 7-10 years, something like that. I don't remember exactly.
So you were around Ethereum when Vitalik was still posting on random forums about creation,
Yes.
the creation that he'd made.
Yes, somewhere around that. Yeah.
What about you, Kane and Jess?
Well, I met Kane in 2017 at uni, and he kind of introduced me to the crypto world. So round about then for me, but obviously for Kane before that.
Yeah, I can't think. I was like mostly. There were two reasons why I like absolutely love crypto. One, I was like trading on like just the stock market trading at that point. I love graphs and numbers, so I was like kind of introduced to it through that, and that completely opened me up to the idea of decentralized finance. And like it just seems like it's beautiful little like divine fate that the reason that we found Zilliqa was there was an article released, and it essentially it referenced Adam Smith, and I was just like, oh my gosh, yes. So Adam Smith essentially theorized like the free markets and the open markets, and the fact that like Zilliqa referenced that, and I was just like, it's so important that we now have this technology to have decentralized currency and decentralized finance. And that from there we were like 100% just in love with the idea of crypto and what it could bring to the world. And on top of that, Zilliqa being like the eco-friendly, sustainable version of everything else that we could see at the time, it was like a sure set for us. And then really it was like 2021 where like NFTs were starting to get like a really big thing at that point. And we were like just doing our art career at that point. And that was really when we were seeing like the connection. And then Zilliqa, I think it was Demons, was the first like NFT sort of project that we saw on Zilliqa. And we were like, oh, no way. Like Zilliqa are like getting into NFTs and stuff. And we were like 100% like, we would already love Zilliqa by that point. And the fact that it was going into like NFTs and art, we were like, oh my gosh, yes. Then that's just like the adventure began from their point.
Yeah, totally. The Adam Smith thing was like divine for us because we really like Adam Smith and Adam Smith's work. So we were just like, yeah, Zilliqa is totally for us.
Yeah, if Adam Smith is a 17th century Scottish philosopher, and the Wealth of Nations he wrote, yeah, absolutely brilliant. Like I think he would be extremely proud to see what the world has created with crypto right now.
Totally.
This is where Matt reveals that Adam Smith is his granddad or something.
I'm not sure if you've seen Adam Smith. He's a lot whiter than I am. But anyway, just in terms of, I guess, my journey, I guess I was Bitcoin, Ethereum. I spent a bit of time in Singapore. They were all about trying to drive enterprise adoption. I think a lot of enterprises talk about digital transformation. And I think the inception of smart contracts, which essentially enables, I guess, obviously transfer of value, automation on steroids, was basically the kind of the killer for me, that we can actually change the way businesses operate and kind of drive value transfer into different people rather than kind of central authority over it and owning everything. So I think, yeah, crypto, blockchain, it certainly changes your mindset. It makes you a lot more open-minded to the art of the possible. And I think the culmination, I guess, of just taking it back to the conversation that we're having today around, you've got a gaming business that's been set up, focused on games. You've got gamers coming in who can set up a blockchain wallet. You've got creators coming in who can start to drive new funnels to revenue that can impact and add value to others playing the game, can add values to the kind of the business that we're creating. Is business transformation at its heart. So for me, I kind of just love being part of this ecosystem. Love being part of Zilliqa, and yeah, it's going to be an exciting few months coming up. That is for sure.
Absolutely. So we've just gone over an hour on this Twitter Spaces. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Great to see Kane and Jess that Dr. Death is very much alive after this crypto winter, and loved having you here. Matt and Valentin, thanks for taking the time to share your wisdom with all of us. Finally, thanks to everyone out there listening. Zilliqa wouldn't be where we are today without the community, so really appreciate your support and excited to show you all the things that we've been working on. there are many of them, but we'll save that for another Twitter Spaces. So thanks everyone, and hope you have a great evening, everyone.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to check out this video, just click right there. And if you want to subscribe, you just click right there. You guys have a good one. Later. Chaka facts, I'm out speaking Chaka words. We are making Chaka raps. We call this the Chakaverse.